ago or a year ago. I can't remember. What else? We should probably move on to some better things. Okay, I was having a good time watching this Adam 22
Not turning up.
Joe Budden podcast. Okay, let me see if I can find it.
And frequencies
about covering because I've
covered your stories.
I think
honor demand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
More.
You
I think
could have
all of this other stuff. Then you know it's gonna be something.
Kevin didn't give a fuck about the hate he was getting the same way I didn't give a fuck.
Okay, so Adam goes on Joe Budden's podcast, and they kind of have a segment where they kind of question him about him doing certain type of content after the passing of Kevin Samuels. Now, I think I'm very much involved in this topic. Not only do they talk about me eventually, but I think I'm involved in this topic because I am media, and I've told this to Adam recently. Me and him were texting about it. I'm glad Adam's going out and doing interviews now because for a long time I was the most public-facing media figure. You don't see the owner of Shade Room go out there and do interviews to defend why she posts certain stuff or why she allows her site and her brand to be affiliated or post certain stuff. You don't see that necessarily with Vlad. Vlad he only really does interviews with people he kind of fucks with. Who else? Q back in the day. I think people will criticize him, but this is like a different time with media. Everybody's kind of into media now. I've been one who've been just like, whether people have tried to say whatever about the brand, I usually respond to it. I remember people say, why do you go to Clubhouse and debate with people when they're not there to understand, they're there to attack? And I'm like, I feel like even though we're media, we should put ourselves accessible to the audience who might have critique, even if some of it is nonsense. But putting out content necessarily that should be serving in the public good and never being accountable or never answering questions, it kind of would make one feel like, how interested is this person into the betterment of the culture, not just only getting financial gain from it. So I've done that a bunch of times, right? I think I've done it to the point that people have even grown tired of, y'all going to hit them with the same arguments, because I'm going to get to it in this, and I'm going to skip to the part real quick. Actually, no, let me go in sequence. They're getting at Adam for what he did with Kevin Samuels after he died. Now, let me tell you what usually media platforms do. If someone passes away, if you had content with him, a lot of times you might see a re-upload or you might see a re-highlight. Vlad does it. He does flashback episodes or flashback segments when people have passed. And there's always like this question of, is it poor taste? Is it just capitalizing? And should a media platform be capitalizing off other people's, misfortunes, right? Now, I think this is very interesting because when it comes to hip hop, a lot of people love to quote what they believe is their own morality in, oh no, we're for the culture, that's why we won't do it. Yet everybody's trying to have a business in hip hop. You get what I mean? So the news media, and the reason why Ack turned to Big Ack was basically, I have to show that the people who run these platforms, not only are we people, not only should we also be respected, but we're here and just as important as everyone else, and that's why I made myself accessible. Anyway, Adam put up a bunch of clips of Kevin Samuels. Here's my overall opinion, and maybe I could hear a little bit of his before I speak. Here we go.
You're spreading that person's message more. You're getting their content out there more. And I think that when they pass, it's even more important that we celebrate their life by talking about them and serving this content up in the algorithm for the people who love them.
Tell Ish about... Oh, go ahead.
You just fucked up, though.
What?
You said when Vlad did it, your immediate gut reaction was cringy and it's in bad taste.
Right.
Why would you think that?
Because I hadn't thought about it enough.
Why would your immediate gut reaction be, yo, this is in bad taste and it's cringy.
I think Vlad was the first one through the wall on a lot of things, and that he was the one who figured out that this made sense very early on.
He dancing.
You tap dancing.
He dancing.
What?
You didn't answer my
You're not
question.
answering his
I'm not
question.
talking about Vlad.
We don't care about what Vlad
Why did Adam
Because it was
think...
something I had never seen done at first. I thought, I've never seen someone just immediately upload a person's content after they passed. Then I
Why
thought
do you
about
think
it.
that's true? Why do you think you had never seen that
done? And why did your gut
done?
reaction think that it wasn't a proper thing to do? Because it's not.
Because I had never seen it done.
Because you're a human. Because you're a human in here somewhere.
Thought, that makes a lot of sense. The TV networks do the same exact thing. If some fucking fan, say MTV was still what it is right now, and God bless, Pop Smoke passes. What are they going to do? They're going to be playing hour-long blocks of Pop Smoke music videos because that's what people want to see at that moment.
By the way, I'm glad. I give Adam this point. That's good. Great point. A great counterpoint. And by the way, I award this segment to Adam in totality. I think Adam had the better point. There is a very unfair expectation that only happens to usually black, let's remove black, hip-hop platforms that we don't we don't hold the same standard to when it comes to other platforms, and we don't try to boycott them when they all do the same shit. God forbid, I won't even name an artist, but when Pop Smoke did die, Hot 97 ran his music all day. By the way, there's another part of this where they ask, why did Adam turn on monetization? No one's gonna ask, why did Hot 97 play ads that particular day? They have to play ads every day. They're a business. They're a corporation. They have a bottom line. They got to get to it. So whether they're acknowledging, celebrating, whatever the case is, rehashing Pop Smoke's life, legacy, or music, they're going to play ads. No one will ever get mad at Hot 97 that you hear a Sprite commercial after hearing 5 Pop Smoke songs right after he died. You know who's getting paid from that? Obviously the radio stations. There is zero commercial-free programming on linear TV, especially just regular cable. You're not seeing that. Oh yeah, Pop Smoke died. We're gonna play a few of his songs, maybe a couple interviews we got of his, but you're gonna get ads I think the average is about like 5 to 7 minutes. That's how it works on TV. That's just what it is. And nobody gets mad at MTV. Nobody gets mad at Hot 97. But if Adam posts a video, and by the way, I'm gonna show you, there is a difference though. And this is where I was saddened that Joe didn't get to this part of it, because I remember back in the day, before I even really got into media, there was a very interesting and infamous conversation where Joe had with Vlad. And I think it started a lot of their feud. And maybe, I don't have that much time, but I like to be in depth. Joe asked Vlad a particular question, and that's super different than what Adam did. And that's super different from what most journalists do. Let me see if I can find it. Joe Budden, Vlad interview. I think it was on Lip Service. I need to play this question. Here we go.
We were talking about
not like what I have to say.
Here we go.
Okay.
This is Joe and Vlad.
Was an asshole or
Speak on BlackBerry, man. You know what you are accountable for that. And if we take that and put it on, is that what we're going to call journalism?
and Vlad TV.
The difference is I'm embarrassed. And on the very next episode of Joe.
What?
But more importantly than that, you know what my question be to niggas like you?
Here we go. I think it's
not niggas like you, to you.
Here we go.
Like you put up the clip of Rand going to this nigga house and smacking him, right? Now,
that was on Vlad TV, right?
now, in a hypothetical world, because of course I'm not speaking reality at all. None of what I'm about to say is going to happen. Nobody is thinking about it happening. Now, what if niggas go to Rand house and shoot him and his daughter? What if niggas do that? Then what? Then it's not funny no more, right? Then you're not on. Then you're not on Vlad TV posting the things that you're posting, and World Star's not doing it. Then all of these outlets that are putting this up there and getting all these millions of views, nobody's posting anymore because niggas is dead.
I mean, Joe, I don't think any of this stuff is funny.
By the way, I think people would still post it. I'm gonna keep it on it. Like, again, people cover conflict. rappers rap about conflict, they make a lot of money.
I think all this stuff is very serious.
Would you do a Vlad TV from Rand's funeral? Yes or no?
Would I do a Vlad TV at Rand's funeral? Possibly.
That exchange right there. I disagree with Vlad. I agree with Joe, but I think that's where Joe looks at shit, right? And I'm gonna say that's very much different than this whole thing with Kevin Samuels. Basically, what Joe was saying there is that, yo, would you do your video vlogging from this guy's funeral and treat it like content, like you treated violence before he got killed as content? And Vlad basically said possibly, which means maybe, just like I treat everything else, which on face value was Vlad almost kind of saying that whether like human life didn't matter. Like there is not a point where shit isn't content anymore. You get what I mean? And I think as media organizations, I can speak for myself, I'm not going to say that conflict isn't covered, but there are parts and points of this that I believe that it's not content anymore. For example, I remember getting a video. I remember getting a video that somebody snuck while Pop Smoke was there laying in the casket. That's not content to me. Now, when Pop Smoke was making videos and banging GDK and dissing niggas, that was content. You know, that was going towards what his music was about. You get me? But Pop Smoke laying there dead, I wouldn't cover a nigga funeral like that. Y'all know I don't cover niggas bleeding out, niggas last moments. I won't post that up. You get me? Vlad said he would. And I think when I hear that, it reminds me of Joe now talking to Adam, where he's trying to almost paint Adam like that. And by the way, I haven't had that conversation with Adam. I don't think Adam would do that either. You get me? I think posting an old interview of somebody who passed away, granted, you might be like, oh, you're overdoing it, just trying to like break it up in a million parts to get money. But reposting content you did with someone who passed away, that is not shaming them. That doesn't make them look like a clown. That doesn't make them look weird or whatever type of way. I don't necessarily think is bad. So that's why I go on the side of saying I'm with Adam here. Okay? Now, granted, I think Joe was trying to get the angle of the Vlad shit, and maybe that's just a him and Vlad thing. I'm not covering a nigga's funeral like that. You feel me? Like I'm not sending cameras to a nigga's funeral. You feel me? And honestly, usually when it comes to the passing of people, if it's not very celebratory in terms of like we've posted, yo, you know, and this is a picture that was taken by people around him and they shared via the internet. They're like, hey, we laid him to rest. Cool. Nipsey in very tasteful ways. Cool. But I'm not into certain other things. I wouldn't consider it content because also I do know people are grieving. However, I don't see the point. I think it was a weak attempt of trying to get at Adam about this shit right here, just because, yeah, he's making money. Like, you know, being a platform, I feel like I'm doing more talking than playing the audio because it gets into this next point. Being a platform, this is how it sounds when I hear a lot of people criticize media. They're upset that media is a business. For example, you could look at a lot of things they'll say, like they're gonna later get on to say, yo, why did you interview a drill rapper who's super young, don't have that much songs out? That's going to help to possibly his demise. You're just making money from it. You could interview another, and then the next drill rapper you could interview. Well, this all is a business. The artists use the media like the media use the artists. I've always thought, I know people thought about the Warren Chirac shit that was super devoid of the music and the artists, but can I ask y'all a question, and I hope y'all answer it very fairly? Was the Warren Chirac not pretty much the biggest promotion, media-wise, for the artist that was doing drill from 2012 to 2015? Yes or no? Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. It was promotion for these guys. That was their content. You get what I mean? So it's like, you might look at it. So if you only want to blame media, you're gonna be like, yo, Ak, you made mad money off it, which by the way I didn't. Just like they're looking at Adam and say you made mad money off whatever, which I think Adam's point is like, but like me giving this guy an interview is helping him get to the acquired goal of getting his music on bigger platform, bigger looks. He's trying to be a musician. It's not like these guys are rapping about, just hanging out like just harmless shit. They're rapping about violence. A lot of these guys, that's the content that's drawing people in, and they're hopefully monetizing off of it. So it's not just Adam winning off of this shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's a whole full circle. I don't like conversations like this because it uses the media as the scapegoat. They get to a point in this conversation where they say, well, Adam interviewed a guy named FBG Cash. He shortly died, but when he was there, he was talking about other feuds and whatever shit that was going on. And they said, well, why would you bring this kid up here to do that? You're giving such a big platform for real beefs he has in the hood. And Adam made a great point, like, it's not no kid. This is a grown-ass man. He did like 7 years in jail and came out, and now he wants to do music. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, emotionally and mentally, he's a kid. And what I felt, and by the way, Ish made that point, salute to Ish. By the way, I like these two guys. I love Ice and I love Ish. The only point I would say in retort is that when you place the blame on media to police, and I remember there was a part that were like, yo, you should be giving these niggas an IQ test. Let me see if I can find it. I know I'm talking a lot.
It all comes back to me.
And now to delete it.
Well, I was actually really asking him for the.
Here we go.
Someone's lying on me.
Months ago. And
All right, so we waited.
the man who killed Young Dog. 7. Really helped a lot. Let's be real. FBG Cash claims Lil Durk told him to take a photo at King Von's mural.
Rest in peace, King Von.
Rest in peace,
Rest in
FBG
peace, FBG Cash.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is like this is not just an isolated incident.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Habitual. That's what he talked about in the interview. That's what he talked about.
That was it.
Not funny to me.
I mean, that's
not at all.
It's an important clip. It's an important thing you talk
but
about.
This is a microcosm of this business and what goes on and how some people look at black artists, black lives. Like, come on, Adam, you got a bigger responsibility than this as a multi-millionaire from fucking hip hop.
Okay, I like that point. And this is always, and this is why I was on Everyday Struggle, right? And by the way, I love Joe's point and I love Adam's point. And I side a lot more with Adam's point, even though I think Joe's point, it comes from a great place. I've always tried to have this conversation as very inclusive, right? How could you look at the war in Chirac being so terrible without acknowledging that